Hey guys, welcome to MVP Coach's Corner, where Bro Logic goes to die, covering nutrition, contest prep, PEDs, coaching, and living the lifestyle of bodybuilding. If you're just watching this video now, make sure you please like and subscribe, and turn your notifications for our next video.
Yeah,
So how's Florida?
It is crispy. It is crispy. Like KFC crispy. Actually, I can't say that because it's pretty moist, so it's like soggy.
So it's soggy. So I
Soggy.
basically would be poodle head.
You definitely would be. If I didn't cut my hair, it definitely would. The poof thing
Oh
would have
yeah.
been pretty. The troll hair would have been pretty
Yeah,
immense.
you and I'd be poofing it
Yeah.
up.
I'd be hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you have white people hair.
Don't start this.
Oh god.
Okay.
So are you going to the show tomorrow at Albury?
No, I can't make it.
I don't blame you. It's a hike for me too.
I'm sad. And then I'm going to Pennsylvania the next day after work. But I have to work even earlier now.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, like the cat.
On the bright side, no one's playing video games. You can go to sleep tonight.
Dude, I know. But I was gonna I was gonna wash my hair tonight.
Cross my arms on that one.
I don't know. And I still have to make food. But so it won't be as late for sure.
Anyway, so we went to Kissimmee Muscle today to go train.
Yeah.
And I have to say, this is me being an asshole. They don't claim to be the best gym at all in Florida, but they're much better than Lift ATX.
I'm jealous.
A nice blend of old equipment and some newer stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of everything, which is cool. And the atmosphere was great as well, and it's a 24-hour gym, which is pretty cool too. Because like you don't normally see gyms that have equipment like that, especially like a hardcore gym that's truly 24-hour. There's not many of those anymore.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to actually have that.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice. Those were very small though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was small.
Like okay, it's not small compared to a regular gym. It's small compared to what we are used to in New Jersey.
Okay.
So like it's much smaller than Iron for sure. But like, have you ever been to like I want to say like it's bigger than a Pollen, but have you been to a Pollen before?
No, I haven't.
It's probably close to probably how big Supersets was, your gym.
Okay.
Yeah, so not massive at all for the amount of stuff they have.
Yeah.
But definitely not like a hole in the wall. Like they had a back room for that was turf for stretching and everything else like that. So like you definitely got to warm up for sure.
Okay.
It's some really cool equipment too.
That's good.
It was a wellness girl's dream. That one.
Yeah, they had a ton of hamstring glutes to shit there.
Yeah, because every other gym that we went to recently, there was like no. Where do we go? We went to.
I figured it was the moment I saw the picture of Johnny Styles, like literally in the middle of the thing. I was like, yeah, this gym's gonna have a lot of glute stuff. Like, this guy must go.
Welcome to Florida, man. Like it's bikini season year round, right? Like,
right.
You being as a female, why would you not train your glutes here? Like, chances are like you at least on show maybe like 12 times a year.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. You're gonna see a ton of arm equipment everywhere too.
Yeah.
Chest, arms, shoulders, glutes.
There was a lot of chest equipment, not a lot of arms. I saw like 4 arm equipment. 4?
Well, what else did you guys do today?
Nothing. Literally nothing. Woke up. We went for a walk. Or I went for a walk.
Collected a tanning. I figured out how much backstage passes were. This might be the most absurd place I've ever heard of. For backstage passes are $200. I've never heard of it being that much ever.
But they also did give Alexa a beautiful jade necklace, not jade, crystal necklace with interchangeable crystals for her show. So obviously the backstage passes are funding this bitch's crystal collection.
They were necklaces? I didn't think.
They gave you crystal necklaces as your gift with interchangeable crystals.
Like, I wouldn't even want that.
Yeah, you don't wear crystals. You're not crazy.
Yeah. I'm in the
What
gym
were
all
you
the
gonna say? I
time.
want to wear
When do I-
crystals.
This is the
Back
extent.
back up on the second part. A little crazy.
Everybody is.
Yeah, right. That's why we're all here.
Mhm.
That
Would any sane person really participate in the sport? If we're being very clear.
Yeah, I don't know one sane person that does this sport.
Yeah, and chances are, like, if you are a super sane person doing this sport, like, you're probably not gonna do it really long because like
No,
there's nothing
you
really
won't
fun
last.
about this, right? Like,
Probably gonna do it one
it's
time.
funny. We had a client recently that Louis asked us, like, hey, like, this is my second go around when it came to this, but it seemed like so much more fun the first time. This time is not really fun at all because I kind of know what to expect. And my response back to him was, well, this is not supposed to be fun at all. Like, in no world is restricting calories, training extremely hard, doing a lot of cardio, and feeling like shit a fun activity. It's a rewarding activity, and that's why we do it, right? No one does this for actual shits and gigs.
Right. And like
Like,
going, this like goes along with our topic so well because people like people on social media make prep look very different too.
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Which
Yes.
You put on your jazz hands, that's what you do, jazz fingers. And you put on a show for literally the 1 to 2 minutes that you're making a video during your prep, each day, and then you go back to being an asshole human being and being like, oh, my feet hurt, right? Or like, I'm cold all day because like my calories are so low, or like,
Yeah.
I'm so tired that like I'm literally falling asleep on my couch reading text messages. Like, they leave all that part out. That's not fun.
Right.
You post your full day of eating X weeks out, and you put like these stupid emojis next to each meal, and you're like, damn, this shit sucks. Like I want my off season food.
Um,
I want my pasta.
do you? Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
like, I think everyone gets that food goes low, right? I think they understand that.
Yeah.
But like, they do not understand the feelings of this, right? Because like, when they start like getting in the midst of it, like when you start actually having maybe like 45 minutes of actual cardio total per day, then you start feeling it, right? And when your neat activity starts climbing up, now you're at like 14 or 15, 16,000 steps per day. You're like, oh fuck, like this is a pretty big goddamn time commitment, and I feel like shit doing it. Why am I doing this again, right? Like that's a question that people truly ask themselves, and like that's why like just being in love with a destination does not do shit in our sport, right? You have to be in love with the actual journey and find rewards and wins along the way. Because if you think the sensation of just walking across stage in like 3 to 4 months is going to give you some type of like happiness or fill some void that you have, it absolutely isn't. The only cool thing you got out of it was some fucking awesome photos, right? That's at the end of the day, that's all you got. Maybe
Right.
a medal or plastic trophy based on how
For
much you paid for
literally the minutes you were on stage. Like you did
Yeah.
this for months, and then you're literally only on stage for minutes, if that.
Yeah. Hussein Bolt said, I trained for 4 years at a time to run for 6 seconds. And like that puts it in perspective for us truly. Because like for all sport, we sacrifice months, right? Months for literally, if you're at a really competitive show, maybe 5 minutes on stage, right?
Yeah.
5-10 minutes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And literally like years too, because the off season also counts. Like we're not just like, okay, whatever, like we're still focused on our training, we're still hitting our cardio, we're still hitting our food and our water, and everything still counts. It's just a different goal. But
It's actually really sad now. I just put this in perspective. So I've been competing for 10 years now, or 11 years now. And I've stepped on stage 8 times over 11 years. So that is, what, let's say 8 times 5. That's like 40 minutes on stage my whole in 11 years giving up for it.
but
It's
like
really depressing when you put it that way.
and it's probably even less for females.
Yeah,
We
100%.
just get less time for whatever reason. But yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys have like 2 or 3 poses.
Okay. 3,
3.
4.
We have 6. We have 6 minimum,
Okay.
plus the most muscular.
Still the
So it's just
same
a
Yeah.
thing. It's still the same
Um,
thing.
I will say maybe you're on stage for equally the same amount of time for one reason is because there's normally a lot more of you guys. So you typically do spend a decent amount of time on the side sometimes,
Mhm.
but like let's not count that because like that's not really like being looked at either.
Yeah, that's
True.
not being on stage.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have to say, man, like especially this year with some of our new clients competing who've never competed before, not only obviously were they not prepared for these sensations, but they weren't prepared for the emotional changes that I also went through as well. Because
Mhm.
like there is a big deal of isolation that happens during prep, and it's not always purposeful. It's just because you can't participate in the same activities that you possibly did before, or you don't have the desire or energy to. Like, it's not really fun going to the bar with your friends when obviously you can't drink, you can't eat anything, and you're tired, and you know you have to wake up in the morning at 5 to go in the fucking stairmaster. So you almost have FOMO because like you just want to hang out with people, not necessarily do the activities, but you want to associate with them, and you kind of don't want to due to the parameters you have.
Mhm. Yeah.
Or even like what we talked about today with our post, right? Talk about like the fogginess, how you feel throughout the day,
Mhm.
and like obviously that's a direct response on how we actually feel, right? Like if you not only if you're super forgetful, but like obviously your mood's not the you're so tired, you're exhausted,
Mhm.
like on top of being hungry, right? So we're hungry now. We're exhausted as well. So we're agitated. We're more snippy for sure. Um, there's also the consider thing we have to consider as well is like we choose to do this, right? This is a privilege that we get to participate in. So the feelings we do have are completely natural, but I don't want to say keep things to ourselves. But no one else should ever have to deal with the fact that you are competing. It's something that we choose to do. So if
Mhm.
you are the snippy individual or agitated individual, that's kind of something you should keep to yourself. Because like, again, like your partner, your spouse, your family, no one else really deserves to deal with that shit because you chose to participate in a sport.
For sure. Yeah, and I was just gonna say that, and that like we can't control life around us. We can
Mhm.
only control ourselves. So,
Yeah.
and our actions. So life's gonna continue to happen even when you're in prep, and like not everything's gonna go perfectly just because you're in prep. So
You just gotta control your reactions to everything.
yeah, and just finding ways to cope, like journaling and you know, like getting our steps in, like go outside and walk and touch some grass.
Yeah, dead
Right.
ass. Ground yourself. This is the thing, like about prep, and this is how I try to explain to people is that you have a lot of alone time during kind of prep. Use that to your advantage, right? At the end of your prep, if you really worked on yourself the whole entire time, you can kind of come out not only a physically different person, but
Mhm.
emotionally and spiritually different person, right?
Yeah.
If you have let's say 16,000 steps and you have 2 cardio sessions throughout the day, you have at least 2 hours by yourself every day that you have just you and your thoughts, right? Like
Mhm.
you can make that time super productive. Ask yourself some deep questions while doing it, and I promise you, it will pass the fucking time in the Stairmaster having these internal dialogue with yourself.
Yeah.
It definitely fucking does.
Mhm.
Um, but also like even just being able to practice mindfulness during these times, right? Like if you're going for your walks outside, like again, this is your time to yourself, right? I'm not saying you can practice your stillness practice while actively walking, but this is definitely a time for deep self reflection. Like this could be a spiritual journey if you choose to make it,
Mhm.
You just gotta make it happen.
right?
Yeah.
And this is why,
Mm.
like monks, like in monkhood, food and water are such things that they fast with often, and it's because like if you have the ability to control what you take in, like food and water, you have the ability to control everything else, right? Because those are the most primitive, instinctive urges we have. We are hardwired to do anything under the sun to have those things, and this is also goes right into like post-show feelings, right? Like because you have to talk about like your body was never made to get this lean. It was not designed to, right? The only time in nature would someone get contest lean would be near the brink of death, right? And they wouldn't get this lean because your body would break down muscle and do things appropriately, right? But as restricted as our calories get and how high our caloric expenditure is, realistically, our body thinks we're dying, right? It thinks you're a really shitty hunter, right? It's like, hey, my human hasn't had the ability to capture enough food, and he expends way more energy trying to capture the food it does, right? So when we do have the ability to get off plan post show, you have to imagine that your body is literally hardwired to trick you into eating everything under the fucking sun. And like, if you talk to anyone who's competed before and they go on a binge, the first thing they tell you is they did not have the ability to actually stop. And it's not too far from the actual truth because your body is going to release a stupid amount of serotonin post show when you eat something like a cookie or a piece of cake or a pizza, that burger. That's going to mimic a high almost from a drug. It's better than sex. I tell everyone this: your post-show meal is better than the best sex you ever had. It 100% is. And just the release of serotonin you have would make it so enjoyable. And these are like the expectations people have to go into a post-show with and try to like limit the amount of food you bring with you post-show, because bringing all these goodies that you want to try is probably the worst idea because you are setting yourself up for failure from the very get.
And we've seen it happen.
So many people, and like the really sad thing is not that you gain a little bit of weight, that you undid, and we've seen it happen before, undo 3 months of work in 2 weeks, and like at the end of those 2 weeks it looks like they never even did a contest prep. And it pleads on the next thing I'm going to say is the body dysmorphia that follows contest prep. And because we just looked the best we probably have ever looked in our life for a couple of days, right? Like the absolute best. Like you probably took a quarter of the photos on your phone that day. Like you probably did, because we all do. But it's the best we're going to look in a very fucking long time. And we obviously aren't going to maintain that look for much longer than a week, if anything, right? So the feels that come along with, oh my God, I hate myself because I binged for 2 weeks and now I'm 30 pounds heavier than stage weight. Like those are definitely some big emotions to try to swallow all at once, especially if this was your first like bat at it.
Yeah. Agreed. And off season mental is already hard enough. So making it 10 times harder on yourself because you literally just backtracked it's not worth it.
100%, 100%. And like I think the one thing about the feels following a post show, especially going into an off season, is like the expectations you have to have for yourself, right? And like, let's say directly post show, right? You have this reverse diet phase that you should be going through, right? So some people feel or expect it to go back down to instantly like almost nothing. Like they don't realize that, hey, we can't go from like 100 mile an hour to like 30. It doesn't work that way. We have to take all these small steps backwards, right? And that requires a fuck ton of discipline. And this is where when people like kind of like go off the rails a fuck ton, because they get stuck into like, oh no, but I sacrificed all these weeks. I don't want to like in essence like still have that FOMO I had before. And like granted, like you have a little more wiggle room, but you also don't, because if it's something that you want to do ever again, like you were saying, you're gonna put yourself so far behind the 8 ball that you're gonna be spending it. You're gonna be the weight you're gonna have in your off season to be immense. You just fucking put more weight on the fat you just gained post show as well. And if you think you're gonna have body dysmorphia in your off season, you 100% are. If you're going into your off season 15 to 20 pounds heavier than what you should have.
And I mean, if it says anything, like I really didn't have the body dysmorphia. I competed last August. I didn't really have it till around like now.
Yeah. And like how much are we up from then?
What stage weight was 111, and right now I'm like still 142.
Okay, so 31 pounds up.
Yeah.
So it did take you 3 months to do it? Wow, you must have a terrible coach or something. I don't know. Because I've seen it. It takes normally only 3 months to gain 30 pounds.
Well,
I'm no magician. I must be fucking up. We gotta up the drugs. It must be that. But no. That being said, like, and the funny thing is, like, we all know that you're in your head, and it's completely understandable. But like, if you put your check-in photos side by side to Bree from last year that your Bree can physically eat the other Bree like a little Pac-Man goes.
She might have. Yeah.
I did
Right?
my first set of check-in photos to now.
Yeah.
No, I should do that. I'm scared to do that.
You totally should do it because, like, you know what?
Oh
It
my
can literally
God.
I
eat
did
the
it
other
like
one.
I did it like a couple months ago
Yeah, but like dude,
when I
your
was the
leg.
same weight, and I was like,
Yeah,
looks completely different.
I would love to see.
I'm
Do
nowhere near the
ready?
same
Do
weight.
peak week Bree. Do peak week Bree compared to most recent.
I'll do my favorite peak week.
Oh, I did that yesterday with you, Mark. And I was like, we definitely added some adductor recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I've only had 5 weeks consistently training this year.
You finding it?
I still have all my check-ins from like my first. I need to go through my camera roll.
I wish I had that much free space.
I keep buying one because it's not expensive.
I should probably do that. I think I have like 84 gigs. I don't know.
Okay, peak.
84 gigs on your phone?
Used up, yeah.
And you want me to do my last
You have on
check-in?
your phone.
Yeah. Hmm? What, Coleman?
How many gigs do you have on your phone?
Think about the 100 gig one. The
Uh,
one-
okay, that makes sense.
My foot is cut off. Okay.
Yeah, I did that for my first check-in with you, Mark, to now.
Yeah, that can eat the other one.
Theater,
Yeah.
Num 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 num.
like Kirby.
Num num.
Num num.
Are you bringing
Either
me
way.
for?
But like when we put the pictures side by side, we can be logical, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. It's very hard because we do have a direct emotional attachment to how we look, right? We all do, right? Your self-esteem kind of is the only reflection of almost how we look and how we feel about ourselves. Obviously, we participate in a sport that literally ranks us on how good we look, so we have a deeper correlation to that, which obviously definitely fucks with a little more. And I was talking to someone else about this, and they were saying, how do you deal with like not winning a show when you like train for months? And I was like, well, you have to accept the fact that whoever shows up is going to show up. And their first thought was like, but doesn't it suck because you're judged 100% how you look? And I was like, well, fuck yeah, it does. Thank you for reminding me.
Right. But like also, like you should be comparing your last look on stage to your current look on
Yeah.
stage, and if you beat that one, then
You still won.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a win. It's still a win. But it totally makes sense why a lot of us have this attachment because again, like you're ranked on stage like, oh, you look better than you, and it's not there's not many things in the world like that, right? Normally it's like how your routine looked or how many like baskets you shot, right? It's not like, hey, you're a fat fuck, so you go over there. Glutes are soggy or you're moving out.
Glutes are soggy, yeah.
Yeah.
Swipe.
No legs. See you later.
So it's completely understandable why people have these feelings around that. But like the big thing that we all have to ask ourselves in this is, why are we actually doing this? Right? Because like the thing is, like, I feel like a lot of people feel like bodybuilding is going to fill some type of void. And that's why they get into it, right? And most of us actually try to fill a void, and that's why we're all here in the first place. If it was thought like it was going to help you fix your self-esteem, or if it's going to help you be more confident, or it was going to help you maybe get girls will help you with, I don't know. But if you thought it was going to like, make you like love yourself more or anything like that, it normally doesn't. And it's specifically because like that is a much deeper issue, right?
Right.
Like you getting shredded and ripped is not going to fix the fact that you hate yourself internally, or you aren't satisfied with your life. It's not going to.
Right. And it's the same thing with like, you have to make sure that your life and your emotions are in check before starting prep. It's the same thing in regards to starting bodybuilding in the first place. Like internally, you have to make sure that you are okay before you get into all these things. Yeah, because a lot of people don't realize just the mental aspects that also come along with this. And it's a whole learning journey as well. You learn a lot about yourself throughout it. So
It's a roller coaster for sure.
Mhm. And that's why I think I love bodybuilding so much. It's because of that. And
Yeah.
um, it taught me a lot about myself. And it's one of those things, and this is like goes into like the concept of like keeping promises to yourself. And the cool thing I liked about bodybuilding is it taught me how to do that in other aspects of my life. And I never did that prior to bodybuilding. I always said I was going to do something and I didn't do it. Granted, I started bodybuilding at the age of 19, so like that I don't have much adult experience not keeping promises to myself, but it was something I didn't do at all. Um, and like that roll over in other aspects of my life. So like it's something that can give you meaning in other aspects, right?
Mhm.
And it can help you get farther ahead in your mental health. It can help you get farther ahead in your career and other things if you apply those same concepts. But it also can work the complete opposite way, right? Going back to what we said, there's a lot of self isolation that normally comes along with the sport to an extent, right? There's friends you possibly aren't gonna be friends with anymore because you don't do what they do. Um, and like you know, if most people go through a little phase where they lose all their non-gym friends and then start gaining gym friends, and I'm
Mhm.
sure all of you probably went through that to some extent, where
Yeah.
your friendship circle shifted, and there
Mhm.
was a period of time where you probably didn't have anyone, or you had very little people, that you would actually call to hang out with because you weren't close enough with the gym people yet, but you were too far away from your old group of friends, um, and Coleman, like when you were at my wedding, like I'm sure you noticed this. I said, someone else made a comment. He was like, I can tell exactly who were your friends from high school and who are your friends now by just looking around. And I was like, fuck, you're absolutely right. You totally can. Because they're a whole different kind of people.
Mhm.
Granted, like obviously they were much smaller than everyone else there. But
I was
you,
all
you
there. I
um,
looked like your normal high
No, but
school
he's saying
friend.
like obviously like they don't train and these people
yeah,
do.
they didn't
Yeah,
train,
no,
but
I
you
know
could
what you're
also turn
saying.
other aspects of their life and how they carry themselves, how much effort they put into dressing up for the occasion and everything else. And it's one of those things that like it's okay if you lose those people if they don't serve you.
Mm-hmm.
And like you have to look at that. Anyone you lose as a friend during contest prep, like that's a blessing. And like I don't care if you take that offensively, it is a blessing because anyone that cannot watch you try something really hard for 3 to 4 months doesn't deserve to be in your life. They don't. Anyone who actually loves you should be able to sit by the sidelines and cheer you on in
Mm-hmm.
anything. If it's bodybuilding, if it's entrepreneurship, if it's running a fucking marathon, if it's I don't know throwing axes at ponies, whatever you want to do, they should sit by the sideline and cheer you on watching you do it.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna throw axes at ponies, Brie?
I just wanted to know like how that crossed your
I,
brain.
I don't know.
Welcome to Mark's ADHD. I literally,
Like,
and if you
I
notice,
just want to
it's
know how
always
you
the
thought
third
of that.
item, right? It's the
I
first
love
two
it.
items are always serious. The third item is always the joke.
It's always something random.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm gonna be so great when I'm a father. Every third thing I tell my child is gonna be complete bullshit, and they're gonna think it's real because the first two things were super serious, and they're gonna think the third thing is cold hard fact, and they're gonna go to school and tell their teachers really fucked up shit.
Dude, it's you're gonna be
I
called
can't
to
wait
the
to be an
office.
aunt.
Yeah.
You're
Can
gonna be
you?
called to the office so many times. Why
I'll
did
pick
you
them
tell your
up.
son this? Well, I didn't think he was gonna think it's true.
Hmm.
By now, he should know the third one's sarcastic.
Yeah, the third one's hard. Sarcasm.
Yeah, like how do you?
I'm gonna have to start changing the order.
Or
I'm gonna have to make the first one serious, second one sarcasm, third one serious. You sneak it in there in the
Oh
middle.
yeah,
only
but
this
I
Yeah.
time.
feel like
He'll, he'll
you
repeat it
think
one
it
time.
through like that, or it just comes out. I feel like it just comes out.
It just comes
It
out.
just comes
No.
Yeah.
out.
So I think my big issue when it comes to like prep in general for a lot of people is like there's an expectation set on social media, and especially when it comes to like post show and people's off season and things like that. And like the thing is like this Instagram and all social media is a highlight reel. It's what it really is,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
there's so many people, including myself, that literally only take pictures during like their prep or during like when they're directly following a show, and they use those photos all fucking year. And so like people think that you're in shape you're around, and you're absolutely not. And I'm definitely one of those people because I don't take any off-season photos unless like I have a shirt on for the most part.
Well, I have
Um,
Yeah,
a video of you.
training, yeah.
Yeah,
And I think I told you I
you're
hate
wearing
you
a tank
as you,
top.
yeah.
dude, I have multiple videos of you from training that you
I
won't
know.
post
I
publicly.
saved them and I
But
made I made him reels.
Yeah,
And
she made me real to me being fat. That's what she did. But
no,
like,
I did not. You're not fat.
but this is the thing: is that a lot of us have this expectation of what people look like in their off seasons and how they look year round. And in reality, I think Goob has pointed this out to so many influencers that most people do not actually look that way year round, and if they do, they're one of the 1% that have the ability to do, like Mike O'Hearn, who is completely natural for always.
Yeah,
But we can't believe everything that we see on social media, and that's the thing, is that it's the highlight reel, and no one who actually probably does this competitively at a higher level is going to be, well, that's not fully true. Someone who does this for the wrong reasons is never going to share how they actually are throughout the whole entire year. It's like, not only obviously are we all kind of like have our own self-esteem wrapped up into your physical appearance, like we said before, like there's an emotional connection to how we look. And many of us don't feel vulnerable enough to share what the other version of us looks like, right? Like, dude, like if I'm not like close to a show, I won't take my shirt off at the beach. I won't do it. So I'm not doing social media.
Yeah, I think I'm the opposite of you. I just don't care what people think. Like I just embrace what it is to be in off season and what it is to be in contest prep. I just don't care what anyone thinks about me. I'll show the process how it goes. Like, so what? I look fat as fucking pudgy? Great. See me in 16 weeks and I'll beat your ass on stage.
Yeah, but these people, I guess I don't
Yeah,
look at
that's
the
how I look
world
at it.
as
Like
competitors.
if you're gonna sit behind a screen and judge me over what I look like there's a high chance you probably don't touch grass.
You probably don't touch grass.
There's if you're that
They
insensitive.
probably don't go to the gym. But
I'm not saying
like,
that.
I
I'm
get
saying I'm giving the benefit of the doubt they go to the gym, but I'm saying they
oh,
don't touch grass and go outside and really socialize.
right, like
Like
because
anyone
they
who really
feel like
competes,
they need to say something.
yeah, anyone who really competes, they know what it looks like and sees in season, off season, they know the feelings. Like someone who's new to it is not gonna know what to expect, and which is why I some people do share their stuff, in season, off season, which is cool, and they're pretty straight, brutally honest. But it's hard to find those people. You have to compete once, and then you'll find those people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like 1 in 100 for sure.
Yeah, it's very rare, but the people that do
It
it,
requires a level of vulnerability that like everyone's comfortable with, right? Because again, a lot of us got into the sport to fill a void, right? And even though that void was not fully filled with bodybuilding, again, there's that connection that comes along with it, right? That void, and you don't want to again be vulnerable from that aspect because of that. And again, the people who bodybuild who are completely cool with all of that, a lot of them do it for a more higher based reason, right? Like obviously, I'll use someone like John Jewett. I don't know him personally enough to say he's not filling a void, but he's also someone who I feel does it because he truly loves the actual spiritual journey of it, from the way he talks about bodybuilding, right? And that's like a higher level of thinking, way past the I'm filling a void or I need to suffer. This is again I'm embracing what I'm learning about myself for these X amount of weeks.
yeah, which is super cool.
Well, that all being said, if you're watching for the first time, I would like you to like and subscribe at the bottom. Thank you for coming to listen to MVP Coaching Corner. Take care, guys.
Have a good night.